Current ahead on 12 News, the other signs of fall.
Stuffy head, runny nose are the primary ones.
Why all the wheezing and sneezing is getting worse. Then a Maple Grove man who's carved up an impressive niche.
It fascinates the dickens out of me.
But first, why some local residents were filled with patriotic pride. 12 News starts right now. Nearly 1,000 immigrants in the Twin Cities are celebrating their new status as an American citizen. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Shannon Slatton. One Maple Grove man says citizenship gives him a valuable voice. Here's Renee Bonneau with the story.
Spain, Romania.
Immigrants from 93 different countries gathered at the Minneapolis Convention Center Tuesday, but only one flag flew.
Egypt.
It's a flag that's meant so much to Sam Noah for the last 5 years.
As far as I'm concerned, I've been a citizen since I moved here.
Noah came to the U.S. from Egypt to be close to family. He met his wife here, and they've started their own family in Maple Grove.
It is very important to me to participate in the American experience, all of it, and a big part of it, of course, is participation in the political process and community involvement and all that stuff. And of course, you can't do that without becoming a citizen.
That I will support and defend the Constitution and laws.
Noah and about 975 others were the latest group to be sworn in as new United States citizens. While those in the crowd took very different paths to get to this country, many here wanted to become U.S. citizens for similar reasons, to pay homage to a country that's opened so many doors.
This is a great land with a lot of opportunity, make you to stand on your own feet, make you to be a independent person.
And to be able to speak up and make a difference.
I'm originally from India, brought some of the good things in the culture, and I really like what United States stands for some of the democracy and the culture, so I want to be part of the U.S. now.
If you lived here and you learned about this country and the opportunities that the country offers and at least access to the opportunities, it kind of goes without saying that you're going to fall in love with the country and you would want to fully participate in the entire experience.
Many in this group will be voting for the first time in the November election. Representatives from the League of Women Voters were waiting outside today's ceremony to help the new citizens register to vote. Mike and Shannon Sam Noah told me he filled out his registration form early and was eager to hand it in right after the ceremony.
All right, thank you, Renee, and congratulations to all of them.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It was also an important day for many students at Cooper High School. For the first time, they could register to vote. Today is National Voter Registration Day, and groups like the League of Women Voters are trying to get students familiar with the voting process. Of course, you have to be 18 years old to vote. New Hope Mayor and volunteer Kathy Hempkin says it's important for students to learn how government works.
Well, they are our future, and we need those kids involved. It's part of their right to vote. It's a privilege and an honor, and we want to make sure we instill that privilege and honor in them.
You have until October 20th to register to vote, and if you miss that deadline, you can also register on Election Day, November 6th.
As Hennepin County considers next year's budget, officials say they continue to fund what's essential, but say there's less flexibility. The county's proposed budget for everything from libraries to law enforcement is $1.75 billion. That's about 1% more than last year.
I would call it austere and not painful and not reckless. So I think it'll be a good budget. It won't be anything exciting for people looking for great expansion, nor will it be depressing for people who are thinking we're going to lop off whole departments or anything like that. So we're kind of in a holding pattern right now.
Commissioner Mike Opath says health insurance costs continue to go up, but employees may see the first cost of living increase in 3 years.
Brooklyn Center is taking steps to improve neighborhoods by taking homeowners to task and assessing fines. In one case, a new homeowner was fined $4,000 for not following city ordinances. His home was considered a safety hazard and needed to pass an inspection before it could be occupied. The city says that never happened despite numerous attempts to reach the homeowner. Now, months later, the homeowner says the problems are being fixed and the fine should be dropped.
Everything that was told to be fixed is being worked on, is getting done. And most of the stuff I can't afford to even pay the mortgage and get the stuff done that they're asking me to get done.
The owner of the property has not gotten back to staff, has not gotten in touch with the city. has not made arrangements to mitigate these fines or administrative fines. So in my opinion, it's very much warranted.
The Brooklyn Center City Council ended up approving the $4,000 fine.
And Brooklyn Park is taking action on a property it considers a public health nuisance. The BP station on Zion Avenue has been closed for 3 years. It's not clear if the station's underground tanks still contain gasoline or may be leaking. Monday night, the city approved steps to remove the tanks. The cost will be assessed to the property owner. Creating a fishing pond for kids in Brooklyn Park is unlikely to happen by next summer. The city council considered turning a pond near the community activity center into a place for kids to fish. But council members say there are too many unknowns. Some expressed concerns about maintenance costs, others wondered about liability issues. Another questioned whether the pond would even get used at all. The project ended up getting tabled. Still ahead, the part of fall many people can't wait to be over.
We check in with the doctor to see what's ahead for allergy sufferers. Then later in sports, it's full speed ahead for Osseo's girls swimming and diving team.
But first, here's your AccuWeather forecast. Here's something to sneeze at. Doctors say the allergy season is actually getting longer.
In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland has more on what you need to know about fall allergies.
A fall day at Elm Creek Park Reserve.
Just enjoy the outdoors, colors, scenery. It's great.
It's a haven for families hoping to enjoy the fall colors.
I love the sun, but I love that we can wear jeans, and I love that we can still get out this late in September.
How about you? You go down the slide?
But there's one thing about this time of year that millions of people aren't very fond of.
I do have allergies.
I actually have 3 daughters, and they're all affected this season by allergies.
Allergists say that pollen counts have been significantly high, and one of the main reasons is due to ragweed, which started about 2 weeks earlier than normal this year.
Well, the trend this year, even starting in spring, has been that it's been one of the worst allergy seasons we've seen in a long time.
Dr. Mehta blames early spring rains, which gave plants such as ragweed a longer time to grow.
And so the pollen grew quite a bit.
I'm up there.
That doesn't come as a surprise to Ross Slogter of Maple Grove.
Good job.
Considering some of the symptoms he's experienced.
Stuffy head, runny nose are the primary ones.
Good job, you made it all the way.
As for Melanie Freegard, her daughters are the victims in her family.
Started off with a little bit of runny nose, kind of congestion, and ended up all 3 times with an ear infection this year.
Be careful.
Doctors expect the trend to continue because scientists have noticed a warming pattern in northern states, extending the allergy season by about 2 weeks.
So I think people should start anticipating that and start to take their medications even on a preventative basis before their season starts, so they have less problems.
You're almost there.
As for Ross Slogter, the allergy season can't end soon enough.
Certainly will be glad.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Doctors say allergy sufferers should try to limit outdoor activity between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. when pollen counts are higher. Otherwise, they suggest trying the over-the-counter remedies. Coming up, a Maple Grove man turns a piece of wood into a history lesson.
We'll carve that story up for you later, but first in sports, a local adapted soccer power kicks off the season in pursuit of another title. Jay Wilcox is in right up next.
Jay Wilcox now with sports, and we're talking swimming in a group that is getting better and showing some improvement.
Yeah, definitely exciting for them to see some things, hard work showing up in the results column too. They aren't making a lot of headlines just yet, but the girls swimming and diving team at Osseo has been steadily getting better. The Orioles team, which includes girls from Providence, Maranatha, and Heritage, has 55 girls out this year, and they're off to a very good start. Osseo enters Tuesday night with a 3-1 dual meet record. And the one loss wasn't too bad either. The Orioles stayed within 12 points of rival Maple Grove, long a dominant team in the Northwest Suburban Conference. It's been fun to get off to such a solid start, picking up where they left off last season.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot, actually. I mean, looking back, you're like, wow, we did really good. I mean, at the moment, you don't think much of it. You win or you lose a meet, and you look back a year later, and you're really surprised at how good the team was. And
it's been really fun. It was good. Last year, we got Maple Grove to change their lineup, and we got them to do that again. We scared them a little bit. My first year, we were not close at all, and now we're like getting out there, and we're making them scared of us, and it's fun the competition is really fun. They make us swim really fast because we want to beat them.
It's been super fun. We've done really well just seeing us at the conference meet, do our best, and our relay actually broke our pool record, so that was a lot of fun. And we've just been growing as a team, and it's been a lot of fun. I love it.
This week will provide a good measuring stick. After facing Blaine Tuesday, Osseo meets Elk River, another team they've struggled to beat, on Thursday.
A big deal, actually, yeah. This is going to really set our place in the conference. We're already halfway through the season, so these two meets this week are going to really set the pace towards the end of this season to see how we finish. So
Thursday's meet is at Elk River's Vandenberg Middle School at 6 p.m. Well, the Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound West Tonka PI Division adapted soccer team kicked off its season on Monday. The Robins are perennial powers in the PI division, having won 4 straight state titles. Winning number 5 will be a test for the Robins, though. They're a very young team and don't have a lot of experienced players. Still, there's plenty of optimism, especially given the program's history of success.
I think that's what's really helped us in the last 4 or 5 years, our string of success, is that, anybody that's new, whether they're coming in as a 10th grader or as a 7th grader, they know that there's kind of a history with this team and the success they've had, and the kids that are currently with the team kind of remind them, hey, we've got work to do, and this is how we do things around here, and just go out and do your best, and good things will happen.
It gave me a lot of learning curve this year, so I don't know how the season's going to be, with a lot of 7th graders, so hopefully we can teach them.
The Robins beat Park Center 7-1 in their season opener on Monday. While Park Center's boys soccer team's 9-2-2 record is one of the biggest surprises of the fall sports season. On this week's Sports Jam show here on Channel 12, John Jacobson profiles the Pirates' top scorer. Here's a clip from that story.
He's a special talent on a team enjoying a special season. Park Center's number 14, Francis Caroma, is something else to watch.
He does things on a bad day I'll never be able to do on a good day. He does some things on the field where I just think give up the ball, and he'll keep it, and he'll walk through 5 guys, and he'll put the ball in the net, and everybody I think looks at the field saying, how the heck did that just happen?
Francis is the Pirates' leading scorer this fall, but he puts the team first. The goals he's racked up are sometimes show-stopping, and maybe even more than he expected before the season.
I was just thinking about taking one game at a time and doing the best I could to help my team win any game. It really didn't matter to me because at the end of the day, it's our team that matters, it's not me.
And you can see the rest of the Francis Caroma story this week on Sports Jam. It's on at 3:30, 8, and 10:30 through Wednesday on Channel 12. And boy, just from that piece, you can see what a player he is.
Even if you don't know a lot about soccer, that's pretty talented.
Yeah, that
out
was
there.
impressive, wasn't it?
Fun to watch. It was. Thanks, Jay.
You bet.
And local vote 2012, 2 candidates running for Senate in a district that includes the northern part of Brooklyn Park.
Republican incumbent Ben Cruz is running against Anoka Hennepin School Board member John Hoffman in Senate District 36.
Hello, I'm State Senator Benjamin Cruz. It has been my pleasure to represent Brooklyn Park, Champlin, and Coon Rapids for the past 2 years. I am proud to have been part of taking Minnesota from a $6.2 billion deficit to a $1.5 billion surplus while funding education at its greatest level in Minnesota's history. I have worked hard to pass bipartisan legislation and work across the aisle. I was able to chief author and have signed by Governor Dayton 9 pieces of legislation. This legislation focused on job creation and education. These continue to be my areas of passion and concern. Though we have made great progress, there is much more to be done. I look forward to being Senate District 36's voice as we continue to create high-paying jobs and prioritize education. Please vote Benjamin Cruz November 6th.
Hi, I'm John Hoffman, candidate for the State Senate, representing parts of Brooklyn Park, Coon Rapids, and all of Champlin. For the past 2 years, we've seen the Minnesota legislature grind to a halt from gridlock and political bickering, leading to a government shutdown. It was at that moment I decided to run for State Senate. As father, husband, business owner, and vice chair of the Anoka Hennepin School Board, I know we can do better. I've worked for solutions to find the money to operate our school district, even when the legislature borrowed over $2.4 billion from our schools, still with no plan to pay it back. I will never stand on political ideology at your expense. We have a job to do. I will not go to the Senate to stand alone in my views. I will roll up my sleeves and get to work fighting for the middle class. I'm John Hoffman. I look forward to serving you in the State Senate.
But still ahead, if one Maple Grove man can imagine it, he can create it.
From fur trappers to Paul Bunyan to Abe Lincoln, this man creates characters from wood. We will whittle down that story for you up next.
Well, there is just no telling what one Maple Grove wood carver might come up with next.
He's had 40 years to create statues, nativity scenes, and log cabins, but Gene Hazen has even more projects up his sleeve.
What it takes to whittle is a piece of wood, a knife, and an imagination.
For more than 40 years,
I enjoy doing it.
Gene Hazen has let his imagination run wild.
It's kind of like when you drive a car, you don't think about driving a car, you just drive it. Things just come to you the way they should be.
This wood carver started whittling wood.
I am very particular about how I do what I do, and I use only this knife.
After visiting his wife's home state of Arkansas in the 1960s.
This was done in good humor and in good appreciation of the people at the time.
After carving his share of folksy caricatures,
it fascinates the dickens out of me.
Gene discovered he could carve a bit of history too.
And he's holding this, and he goes, "Can you make that cabin?" I was like, if I want.
So Gene started creating scenes out of history.
I do it because it interests me, and I do it because I can, and people should do things that interest them if they can.
Many of those now belong to different historical societies in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Arkansas.
What was there? The Battle of Pea Ridge. Pea Ridge was the largest battle west of the Mississippi. And this is the Elkhorn Tavern before the battle.
Gene says he carves every day.
I can make one of these if I'm pushed, if I want to stay in the mood.
And what he's working on depends on that mood.
You got to be in the right mood to do that.
Like finishing this Civil War trio of Lincoln, Grant, and Lee.
If you're not in the mood, just let it be. And I'm not in the mood to do their faces yet.
Right now, Gene is in the mood for Santa.
Because Christmas is coming.
And holidays or not.
These are priceless, which is true. I've donated everything I've done so far except 2 items.
Of course, mishaps do happen.
These are as sharp as razors.
And he's had to go to the emergency room a time or two.
I managed to save all my fingers.
At 76, Gene still has plenty of ideas.
I'm turning the corner now. I'm going to do elk next.
And it'll get done if he's in the mood to create.
And I'm having a ball now. And I'm trying to make winter short.
Locally, you can see some of Gene's work on display at the Plymouth Historical Society's Museum on Fernbrook Lane and at the Plymouth Library. And as you can see, we just showed just a bit of everything he's created. He's been pretty busy.
Boy, that's impressive. I like his work. Is great.
It is.
He's been doing this for decades, right?
He has, and there's no telling what he'll come up with next or what he'll say next.
Or what he's in the mood to do, right?
That's right. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you back here again tomorrow.